Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collinwood for YouTube, back with another Dark Shadows video for you guys and gals. I'm here to do episode 33 of Dark Shadows from the beginning. I love how this starts off, man. You got Elizabeth sitting in the dark drawing room. We've seen her sitting in the dark drawing room before when she was playing the piano, and we saw her head collapse after Victoria's arrival. Those pesky fights with Roger. Well, it's not just the pesky fights with Roger, but in this episode, she's sitting in the dark, and her thoughts are of David and Carolyn. And Carolyn walks in, to draw him. I love this shot here. I love, again, Dan Curtis Productions. John Sedgwick directing this. I love how they shoot this. Drawing room camera. You hear Carolyn come in. She walks in, takes off her coat, and Nancy Barrett's character asks, "Mother, what are you doing sitting here in the dark?" And she asks her, she says to her mother about David and stuff, and they both know that David's home. They both know that it was David who removed the bleeder valve. This is not this. Is this the same conversation she has with Roger? Not quite. This is more Carolyn sort of observing her family as a whole than as an individuality, than as a bunch of individuals. She looks at her family in this episode like we're just all a bunch of crazy people. You're not wrong. No lies detected. So she knows David brought Burke back. Liz was not there when Burke did bring David back. That's true. She was at the cottage, and she says that. She also tells Carolyn she wants her to be, please say you're happy. She says she can't, Carolyn makes the case she can't leave her mother because, they're going to send David away and Vicky won't be here. But, yeah, Elizabeth's got a bombshell for Carolyn here, but she tells Carolyn, no, that's not happening. We're not sending David away. Things are just going to go on like normal. And that's when Carolyn's like, are you kidding me? It's a great opening scene between mother and daughter, between Joan Bennett's character, Elizabeth, and Carolyn, Nancy Barrett's character, Carolyn Stoddard Collins, or Carolyn Collins Stoddard, sorry. And she tells her daughter, if you want to leave, just marry Joe. But she doesn't, that's not what she wants to do. She doesn't want to marry Joe. She doesn't know whether if it's her or she. She's a very indecisive character. Really, I don't buy her indecisiveness. I just don't think she wants to give the real reason to anybody why she wants to stay. You could tell that it does have something to do with her father. Meanwhile, in the Blue Veil, we get Joe Haskell. He's drunk as a skunk. He great job by Joel Carruthers acting here, playing that he's drunk. Mitch Ryan's Burt Devlin comes along and he sits down by Joe and he goes, "Hey, a drink for my friend here." And Joe's like, "I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend." "Yeah, you could be." And Joe says his wife's going to have a baby. He's like, "I don't follow you." He goes, "The guy I worked with," he goes, "we were going to buy a boat together, but life happened. His wife's going to have a baby." And Devlin basically tells him what happened. See, when you play in marriage, things happen. My offer still goes. Joe does not want to sell his soul. It's not about the money for Joe. It's not about getting the money. It's about selling your soul, too. And you get that sense when you first meet Joe. And you even get it here, even though he's drunk. Which is nice. I love the good wholeheartedness of Joe Haskell that they keep. I don't consider Joe a heel with what he did in this episode. Somebody, now you can say he did it drunk, but that's another matter. So back in the drawing room, they're drinking tea. And again, Elizabeth's just very sure, yeah, everything's just going to continue on. I sort of jumped ahead with that. So in Vicky's room, we see Carolyn, and Vicky's reading her letter that that her birth certificate. Her name is Victoria. I cannot take care of her. And Carolyn reminds her that, not cruelly, but there's going to be a bit of an argument between the two of them later on, not in this episode. Remember, we're on the night of the day that David ran away. We're just on the night now, so we're still on the same day. Time is a bitch in Dark Shadows, but it is a lot of fun. Sorry for the yelling. Sorry for headphone users if I just yelled there. But it is time. You can see that in the previous episode and in this episode, things are just, when you look at these 33 first episodes, time has taken its toll on Liz. Not just the time, but the torment of other people around her. Not necessarily at her, but the torment at their soul. To see that her grandson, sorry, I almost said her grandson, her nephew, is that much. Okay, her nephew is that tormented that would try to kill his own father, has shook Elizabeth a bit. And you can see the torment here. You can also see the torment in Joe Haskell. Really, the only person who's having a good time is Berg Devlin. Victoria asked Carolyn if she could borrow the car up in the room, and Carolyn said, "Yeah, sure, you can borrow the car." And so Victoria is going to leave, but before she does, we go back to the Blue Whale, and Joe's like, "You know what? I'm a mouse. No one's ever told Carolyn why she's there." So he leaves the Blue Whale. And even Burke's like, don't be so hard on yourself, kid. And Joe leaves, and Burke puts Joe's beers on his tab. Victoria's got her coat on. She wants to leave. There's a knock at the door. It's drunk Joe Haskell. I feel like I should do a Stone Cold promo. Joe 316! Joe 316! No, okay, no, it doesn't fit here. He's coming in drunk. He's on the steps, and he's telling Elizabeth, "Where's Carolyn? You got her locked in this tower or dungeon someplace." And she's like, "I think you better leave." This is just a fun exchange between actor Joel Carruthers and the rest of the cast, for the most part. Not all of them, but Alexandra, Elizabeth, Nancy Barrett's Carolyn. It's just a fun exchange that you got to go see for yourself. I do love how they do this. And when they go into the drawing room too, you can see how Joel Carruthers is sort of pacing himself to sort of get assistance to sit on the couch, because he's like almost acting like he's not quite wobbling, but he's like trying to find a way to bump into something. And he does smartly as an actor. He tells Carolyn, "You'll never marry." And she goes, "That's not true." He tells her she's scared. I do think she's scared, just not for the reasons he's listing. I don't think he's completely wrong, but again, that's just my opinion. So I love how Carolyn says, "Joe, you're potted." Your mother put it more ladylike. She said I was drunk. Well, you are. So I love Victoria Winters in this scene too. You need to sit down and be quiet. Stay quiet. And he tells Victoria, "You need to leave here for it makes you crazy too." He goes, "I can't leave. I'm in love." And I love the scene with Carolyn and Joe where Carolyn says, "You're wrong, Joe, you're wrong." And then you see Burke back at the Blue Whale, sitting there alone, and you see a shadow, and he looks up, he smiles, and he says, "Well, hello." He goes, "I didn't know you came in here, Miss Winters." And she goes, "This is my first time in here. Can I sit down?" He goes, "Yes, please." And she does sit down, and we got Victoria Winters, not quite in the lion's den, but she's ready to wrestle with a lion maybe at this moment in her life to find out some secrets about herself mainly. Um, I really enjoyed this episode for the pacing it delivers because it's not slow at all. It's a very fun, methodical watched episode. And it's an episode that really delivers on a lot of fronts. It delivers where a lot of the characters are. We got some of that in the previous episode with Roger and where Liz was planning to go, but we see where a lot of them really are. And what I mean by that is Elizabeth's emotions about everything that has gone on for the past 2 months. We see Nancy Barrett's emotions, what's been going on with her in this episode rear up again, which is really good because she doesn't, yeah, she's sort of thrown herself at Burke, but she doesn't really know what she wants either. She's a teenage girl who doesn't know what she wants. It's okay. It happens. You also see Victoria, who is ready to find out more about her past, but a woman who is also sick of the lies, which we've saw in previous episodes. We still have that same girl here. She's sick of the lies. She wants to know about her past. She's going to the one man who might have those answers, and that man is Burke Devlin. The question is, does he? And that's something we're going to find out. I really enjoyed watching these episodes, guys. Sometimes I jump ahead with my commentary, so I apologize for that. I do love a lot of how I love the camera work that John Sedgwick does and Dan Curtis Productions pulls off because it looks so neat. They give you that very gothic feel when you're sitting in the dark and you're sort of looking into the light. It's like, my God, what a production! Great job by Dark Shadows. Just great job all around. All right, guys, I'll see you later. You have a good day.